after it hits you. Don't try to beat it. Stats show you'll lose. Stop. Trains can't. All right, here we go. Back to the NFL Combine in Indianapolis with my friend, Mr. Film, 37 years. 37 years at NFL Films via the Coward Global Satellite Network. Greg Cosell. Oh, boy. So I've trusted you all these years, and I'm told you like Baker Mayfield. Why?
I do. Because here's what I did, Colin. First of all, I watched 6 games from 2016. I watched 6 games from 2017, plus all third downs and all 15-plus yard plays. Here's what my takeaway was. After watching all 15-plus yard plays, I was really kind of surprised, to be honest with you, by how many of those were within the structure and timing of the offense. Only 5 or 6 of those 15-plus plays were second reaction outside of structure plays. He was a pocket quarterback. He had a really good feel for timing and rhythm. He has a compact delivery, and he was accurate throwing the football. And his feet are naturally, I don't want to say frenetic, he moves his feet, but he stays in the pocket. He's not a random movement runaround player. Now, he did have some problems, as the entire Oklahoma offense did, versus blitz on third down, and that's going to have to be cleaned up. But there's far more to like about Baker Mayfield as I project him to the league than there is to dislike.
So do you like him more than Sam Darnold, my guy at USC?
I think they're different, and these are always hard questions, because I think when you deal with players that have weaknesses and flaws that need to be worked on, you get into coaching, you get into how they're used. Darnold is a much bigger guy. Darnold is a less accurate passer than Baker Mayfield. Darnold, to me, is a baller more than a technician. There's not a lot of precision to Sam Darnold's game at this point. His lower body mechanics need work. I know he's working with Jordan Palmer, who's outstanding, and maybe he'll get cleaned up, and he needs to get cleaned up. But he's a talented guy. But this particular year, 2017, he missed far too many relatively routine throws with poor ball placement.
I don't like to hear that at all. All right.
Well, I know you agree with me to some degree on that, because we've discussed that before.
Yeah. I think a lot of it was he lost Juju Smith, and the offensive line wasn't very good, and I thought the offensive coaching was uncreative. But be that as it may, that sounds like excuses. I think personnel that surrounds you matters.
Well, the way I was always taught by really good people to evaluate quarterbacks is you have to isolate the quarterback. You have to isolate the play of the quarterback from the offense. It's always easy to say a quarterback will be better with better players. Theoretically, that's true with any quarterback, even bad quarterbacks. So you have to isolate the play of the quarterback and separate it from those other things.
What about Lamar Jackson? He doesn't complete a lot of throws. Bobby Petrino makes all his quarterbacks look better. He is a world-class athlete. I think I'd draft him if I had a, he feels a little later in the draft, but I'd give him a shot at quarterback. I don't know if he physically, is he too spindly to last like Bridgewater? I mean, what do you make when you see the film of him?
Yeah, he's definitely not a powerfully built guy. The one thing I think, one of the things he does have going for him is the nature of Bobby Petrino's pass game concepts. They're very NFL based. So when you watch tape of Lamar Jackson, you absolutely see NFL pass game concepts. You see that he has an understanding of them. He's obviously a great athlete, but I don't think he's a guy who just takes off, Colin. I mean, to me, he's a quarterback prospect, not a change of position prospect. He's a quarterback prospect. And think of the NFL now. A lot of the NFL, and this is another debatable thing, but a lot of the NFL now, it's a lot of shotgun, it's a lot of misdirection, it's a lot of deception. This defines reads for quarterbacks.
Ooh,
think
nice
of what Bill O'Brien did for those 5 games for Deshaun Watson, and I think Watson was more refined than Jackson coming out. But I think to myself, can Jackson be that kind of player in that kind of offense?
By the way, a lot of running backs in college, there's always been the theory on running backs. You don't take them high in the draft. They're fairly replaceable.
Right.
I mean, New England's got a conveyor belt of guys, and, they're, who knew James White in college? But there are these occasional guys. I mean, I saw Todd Gurley in college, and he just looked different. And I said, if I was Dallas, I get Zeke. I got to tell you, Saquon Barkley to me, Greg, I watched Ohio State or Penn State 10 times in the last 2 years. He feels different to me. He does feel like a difference maker.
Let me ask you this, Colin.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. If you believe that a running back is a game changer, are you not going to take him because of some abstract platitudinous belief that you don't take running backs in the first round? Are you going to pass up a game-changing player based on some abstract theory?
Well, I mean, Todd Gurley absolutely makes Jared Goff a better quarterback. I have to take Barkley. I think he's a game changer.
Well, there you go. Zeke Elliott's a game changer. So you have to take players who are game changers regardless of position. And if you make the running back situation a mathematical equation, meaning I don't take a running back because why take one in the first round? Because there have been others who've gone in the third or fourth round. If Kareem Hunt is the reason you're not going to take a running back in the first round, that's a silly argument.
Okay, so Joel Klatt just came on, and I said, who is the can't-miss player in the draft? That when you looked at tape, he just won his assignment. He gave me a guard from Notre Dame. And I'm like,
Quentin Nelson.
Yeah.
He'll be the best player on some teams' boards. He won't get drafted number one, but he'll be the best player on some teams' boards. No question.
So you looked at film, and you just said he's a mauler. Like, did you watch him against Georgia? Did you watch him against, what blew you away?
Just the player. He could be the best run blocker that I've seen. He's a very good pass protector. He's got incredible strength. There's a play against Georgia that's ridiculous where he's the left guard and there's a blitz coming from the right side that he doesn't even really see, and all of a sudden he sees it and he's able to move across the formation. It's unbelievable. He will be definitely top 3 on pretty much everybody's boards, but he won't be taken in the top 3.
Yeah. Do you buy into that? Interior offensive linemen can't go that high. Do you buy that?
Yeah, I think that they're not sexy. I think it depends on that's a philosophy, Colin. That's why there's so many variables here, and that's why it's so hard to sort of make lists like this. But that's a philosophy. It's a philosophy of what you think as a team. When teams have a great O-line, when Dallas has a great O-line, everybody says, boy, they were really smart to build up their O-line, and then, right? So that becomes a philosophy.
Okay, here's another guy. This Calvin Ridley at Alabama. Now, Alabama's always got good receivers, and there's, Christian Kirk at A&M. Are these two receivers like Julio Jones special, OBJ? What do you make of Ridley, Christian Kirk? Are they special to you on film?
I think Ridley is really, really good on film. I think that when you take a look at him, what might concern people is the fact that he'll weigh 190 pounds. Now, at the end of the day, what do receivers have to do in the NFL, whether they're 190 pounds or whether they're 230 pounds? They have to separate and they have to catch the football. Ridley can do both. I think when you look at Ridley, the player who I think he resembles to me just stylistically is Marvin Harrison. I think he looks like that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's a Hall of Fame receiver. He hasn't played it down in the NFL, but he looks like that when you watch him on film.
All right, good stuff. I got 2 minutes left. Josh Allen, quarterback at Wyoming. I watched a bunch of you.
Yeah.
Here's my takeaway. Big, strong kid. He is inaccurate. That is my takeaway. He is inaccurate.
He speaks to the difference between arm strength and arm talent. They're two different things. He has a power arm, so he's got an incredibly strong arm. Arm talent, to me, is a phrase that I would use to speak to the ability to make all the necessary throws when demanded, meaning touch, timing, precise ball placement. That's where Josh Allen falls short. So he's a power arm. He's a really big kid who can move. His special plays are truly special, but there's a lot of inconsistency to his game because he has arm strength, but not the needed arm talent right now.
That was good stuff. All right, Greg Cosell, absolute pleasure seeing you. I love your breakdown, my friend. Even what you said about Baker Mayfield. I'm
going to convince you, Colin. That's going to be my goal over the next 6 weeks. I'm going to convince you.
Oh God! All right, I'll sleep on it. Greg Cosell, good seeing you. What if I'm wrong on that, Christine? What if I'm terribly wrong on that one?
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
Well, I'm John, all through the years, I've been very accurate on quarterbacks.
Yeah, you're pretty good when it comes to predicting busts. But you got to figure most of them don't work out anyway, so your odds are good.
Well, by the way, I'm not saying he's a bust. He's not going to be Manziel.
Right.
And I've said before, he's not Tebow. He's not going to win games out of miracles. No. He can play. Fifth pick in a, excuse me. Fifth.
What are you drinking over there?
My stomach's a mess today.
And therefore you're drinking what?
Vodka.
That'll help. I was wondering.
I'm saying for a 6-foot quarterback, he's not going to be. Everybody's saying he's Drew Brees. I'm like, good Lord, people. Drew Brees is one of the 10 best quarterbacks of my life, maybe top 10, top 12. He's not Manziel. He's not a mess, and he's not Tebow, where he wins a bunch of games out of kind of happenstance and luck, and he's not that. That's not. No, he can play in the league, but his personal stuff worries me. Guys, spring's around the corner. You're not working out anymore. You had all these resolutions. You're blowing them off. You got to get back to the gym. In fact, let me help you out. Go get some M-Drive. This is nutrition science. 5 clinically tested ingredients that elevate the testosterone levels already in your body. It's built on science. You can get it at Walgreens, Duane Reade, Vitamin Shop, GNC, and Sprouts, prominently displayed. Or you can get it on the internet. BuyMDrive.com, code HERD, 25% off. You're just trying to refine your prime. You had New Year's resolutions. Now you're not going to the gym. Come on, love handles. Get rid of them. Energy, sustainable, stamina, recovery. BuyMDrive.com, code HERD. Refine your prime with M-Drive.
The Big East Tournament